To the top of the redstone circuit without any wires. Now, having experimented with this earlier, I would say item interaction is probably the best one to choose from, because that doesn't happen regularly in redstone circuits and also with the player, because you have to remember, if I chose something that the player probably does as they're walking up to the door, then that means that that sound is also going to go into the redstone circuit, which wouldn't be great. So the firing of a snowball sounds pretty good to me. It's also going to sound pretty good to the calibrated skulk sensor. Yeah, this is a little bit more challenging than I thought it might be. Oh gosh, this is such a mess. I mean, the door builders already laugh at me. This is laughable even by my standards. Please just remember, this is just a proof of concept. I just want to see if it would work. And in theory, there's no reason why it shouldn't. There we go. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, this is broken. That's not good. Thankfully, quite an easy fix. But other than that, this entire door, the entire top section of this door is activated wirelessly by firing a snowball down at the bottom of the door. That is quite curious. That could potentially, in a weird fringe case, solve a complicated redstone problem. I guess the only issue is the receiver itself has to be decently big, and the sender isn't exactly small either. But who knows? It's another interesting tool in the redstone toolkit, and I'm always open to more tools in the redstone toolkit. So I hope you found this video interesting. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I look forward to seeing what the redstone community does with all of these new features. Anyway, hope you enjoyed.
Outback's going full on Aussie, starting at a down under price of just $16.99.
We're reinventing our network
with smarter, more efficient routes.
Coffee's perfect, plant-based made. Coffee Mate.
This room is incredibly dangerous, and that's not just because it has no entrances or exits. Everything you touch inside this room will kill you eventually. Right now there's no redstone hooked up, but that's about to change. Redstone contraption number 1. I mean, look at this floor. Look at this floor. It's almost as if I designed the floor so that the floor could be removed. That's exactly what I did. I built this room. Of course I designed the floor so that it could be removed. As soon as a player takes a single step in this room, it is going to be detected and the entire flooring area is going to be taken out, dropping them down to a dripstone pit for a very spiky death. Now, what is the best way to do this? I mean, in theory, it's definitely going to make use of slime blocks and honey blocks. There's no doubt about that. It's between flying machines and piston extenders. I think for me personally, I'm going to make use of flying machines. Even though they are slightly slower, I think for the volume of blocks that we're moving, it's just going to be far easier. So this should be one side all in place. Let's see, does it actually work? It's always terrifying firing a flying machine for the first time, but yes, it does appear to be working. Our floor has been removed, and then if I hit the button again, our floor has all been pushed back. Now, I know there's some blocks that overhang where our floor gets removed to, so the player would actually drop down onto those blocks. But here's the thing. The actual system is going to be set up so that if a player lands on those blocks, I mean, they're immediately going to be pushed off. I couldn't even land on them. So with one half of this build constructed, let's get the other side going. I just have to make sure that I don't accidentally match these things up, because otherwise everything's going to stick together and it's going to be one giant mess. The other thing that could cause a giant mess is that this side is shorter than this side, and I think that means that I have to do some timing stuff to make sure that they meet correctly. Did I? No. No, it's all wrong. No, this is further over. Oh, I'm confused. I need a lot more delay over here, a lot more. I think the thing that made that look more confusing is there was a visual glitch over here which made it look like this one actually paused, when the reality is this one was the one that paused. Yes! Okay, everything is working. Everything is doing everything properly, even if it looks slightly weird and broken. Time for the detection system. Now, this is going to be done making use of skulk sensors, but I don't want to detect every single noise, because then as soon as this thing starts firing, we're just going to have an endless cycle of flying machines going back and forth, and that'd be bad. So I have this little redstone circuit right here, which will only give a redstone output on a specific redstone signal strength, which in this case is a signal strength of 1. That is the redstone signal strength that is given out by a skulk sensor when a player takes a step. So let's see if it works. As soon as I start standing on any of these blocks and walking around, we should get it detected. And yeah, I've gone straight through the floor. The beauty of there being slime blocks and honey blocks underneath all of these slabs is it's actually really difficult to outrun it as soon as the blocks start going. The only way around this is to sneak about, but obviously that is painfully slow. I would say this has been massively successful. You know what? Instead of the spikes today, I'm gonna go old school. We're going with the lava pit. Just a little bit of bedrock for decoration. And 2012 me is having the best day ever right now. Genuinely, if 14-year-old me could see what I was building right now, I think he would lose his complete mind. Yeah, we're just gonna pretend that losing someone's complete mind is an actual sentence that people say. Moving swiftly on to 4 hours in the future, where I've relentlessly battled with a redstone contraption that never ended up working for reasons that don't seem to make much sense. You see, I've got some arrow dispensers right here that are meant to shoot arrows through a wall. I have a kind of stripped back version over here. If I hit this button, you can see the arrow goes through the wall absolutely fine. Everything is working perfectly. It's a little bit weird, but it works beautifully. However, if I hit this button over here, there's just one repeater. There's one repeater going into the system. Nothing has changed. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Which makes it kind of impossible to use for any sort of redstone contraption at all. So let's go back to the drawing board. I was going to have poison potions and everything. It was going to be fantastic. So this right here is my new idea. I've got a line of dispensers, and then the wall is going to open up, allowing us to shoot through a gap. And to make sure that the player can't access the dispensers, I'm going to cover them up with trapdoors. Except that idea didn't work because there's loads of redstone wiring in the way. I swear this thing doesn't want to be built. Now I've had to construct it again, instead pulling the wall from the top. And after all that, this is